Hey Taurus, welcome to my channel. It's Romy here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really looking forward to seeing what is coming out in your June monthly reading. This is a general, so if you have a Taurus sun, rising or moon, it may resonate for you. If you're enjoying my work, please make sure that you do subscribe to the channel, drop me a like and a comment, and if you want to join me for the extended reading, the link is in the description box below. It takes you over to my website, romywyser.com. Let's go ahead and see what's coming out this month for you. All right, so June's energy, Taurus. We have 6 planets in retrograde. Right now, Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter and Venus are already there. And then Mercury is going to move retrograde on June 18th in the sign of Cancer, followed by Neptune on the 23rd in the sign of Pisces. We also have 2 eclipses taking place this month. The first, a lunar partial eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius on the 5th, and then we have the solstice and the solar eclipse taking place in the sign of Cancer on the 21st. Okay, so a lot of energy going to be oscillating around and kind of, I think, making it at times quite difficult to really make sense of a lot of what is playing out. So we open up your reading with the Queen of Cups, which I really like, because what it's doing for you is putting you in a very in tune position with regards to the energy, okay? But what it's asking you is to listen, to sense, to feel, and to intuit your way through and the kind of the energies as they unfold in this month of June, okay? At times things are going to feel hazy. They're not going to make direct sense on paper. You're going to have to read between the lines. There's a beautiful amount of healing that's coming forth with this Queen of Cups. And I also see that you are in a place where you are nurturing and cultivating and holding space for yourself in a really beautiful way. I think selectively you're also going to be doing that for other people, Taurus. But it's almost like you're getting a real handle on the people who are meant to be in your inner circle in that very kind of close environment, and those that you need to kind of create some distance or slightly move apart from. Now in Gemini season, we're working with this second house energy. We're talking about your relationship with money, to how you feel secure emotionally, fiscally, to how you hold value for yourself, what you do, how you allow yourself and give yourself permission to enjoy the finer things in life. Remember, you are the ruler, Taurus, of that second house. So working with these themes is really interesting, because then on the June 5th, when we have the Sagittarius lunar eclipse, it's in your 8th house of secrets, of transformation, of really allowing a metamorphosis to take place. Now, eclipse energies can bring things up to the light. You know, they bring things sometimes very starkly right out in the open. And that can be somewhat unsettling at times for us, yeah? But you're being invited with that energy of the Queen of Cups to really take quite a quiet, thoughtful, reflective outlook on things. Now, you may well have a water sign that's also important in terms of how things are going to unfold for you this month, a Cancer, Pisces or Scorpio. And I think you are set to come to some really interesting moments of awareness and realization that are going to impact kind of what comes next, or what choices and decisions you're going to be making. Okay, so this card, Arise, which is almost shown up in every reading this month actually, is a new card that this creator of this particular deck brought in, and it reflects his view of it being the 13th, supposed 13th sign of the zodiac. So my interpretation of it, though, in this instance is really all about this aspect of review that we're under through retrograde season, right? That's giving us the opportunity to go back over our plans, go back over relationships, go back over our own growth, and really figure out where we stand. Moving away from anything that kind of feels like this nebulous, uncertain, it's castles in the air, it's not concrete, it's not anchored, and looking for something that feels more truthful, more honest, more real to us. Now, he's naked, so there's a vulnerability about going through this process. Maybe some of the things that you're going to have to deal with within yourself or within a particular situation could leave you feeling quite open, but it's going to be helpful because actually in kind of taking ownership and allowing yourself to really go through the details of that, to really listen perhaps to other people's perspective or point of view, or how they feel about you, or perhaps kind of what their perception is with regards to work that you're doing, an idea that you've presented perhaps, all of that I need you to take on board, and of course sift and sort through it, remembering everybody is projecting different energies, particularly through this very changeable, mutable energy in Gemini, so not everything's going to resonate, but everything has something to teach you. So if you can come at it from that sort of perspective, Taurus, I think that's really going to help you to make sense of things. But you are incredibly tuned in. You're also coming up very compassionate and healing with that energy. So I do see you allowing space and time to kind of really consider things or listen to what people have to say. But at the same token, I also see you not really pushing forward and kind of making it necessarily like easy for anybody who has something to prove to you, so to speak. Yeah. We have, okay, Page of Wands coming through. This may be a fire sign as well, Sagittarius, Leo, or an Aries. But for me, again, it's almost like while you're in this listening mode, while you're in this very receptive, absorbing the energy kind of a state, and you're then figuring out what that means to you, and you're looking at where do I want to make these changes, and then all of this kind of tumultuous energy is somewhat swirling around through eclipse season. What I see you doing is kind of trying to look up and out ahead, looking over anything that might feel a bit cloudy or a bit distorted, and actually feeling a bit more open and optimistic and hopeful for what can come after that. So that perspective is really going to serve you well this month, Taurus, because I think it's going to help you to lay some really beautiful foundations about new plans. It's going to help you to tap into creative ideas and solutions. It's going to help you to be more open-minded and adaptable to anything that changes and anything that comes up that's going to feel like it's unsettling or kind of disturbing a particular plan or strategy that you might have had in place. So I quite like that energy to come in and be very supportive to you. I also think somebody wants to talk to you. I've got somebody wanting to reach out to you. And like I said, with that Queen of Cups, I do have you in that sort of listening capacity for it. You may well be taking on a very kind of healing role, very nurturing role to somebody through this month of June. And I think that's going to be important because actually it's going to show you something about yourself, Taurus, perhaps maybe where you've already walked a particular road and now you're sharing that experience, or maybe you're just having a review and realizing that in giving relationship advice to somebody else, you might have a stark realization about something that you're doing, or maybe it's business or professionally. So how that's showing up, I think it's going to be really of value to you. So here we have Page of Cups coming in. It could be a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. And remember, Mercury moves into Cancer on the 4th, and then it's going to be retrograde on the 18th, and then Neptune in Pisces, another water sign. So there's a lot of emotions that are going to be brought up into the light, into the kind of surface. And remember, with that Sagittarius lunar eclipse, a couple of harsh oppositions with Venus squaring Mars, the Moon squaring Mars, and it's in your 8th house, so it's something really deep and hidden perhaps coming right up into the light. Maybe it's your feelings about someone or something, or something coming towards you in that instance. I do feel there's an invitation being presented to you, but I also see you able to tap into something deeper within yourself. Perhaps you're discovering or unearthing like a new gift, or you're really realizing where the synergy lies with a particular idea or initiative, and kind of trying to formulate a plan and what you want to do with that, okay? But lots of messages incoming, and I think that's going to be both in the physical but also spiritually speaking. So again, you're being invited to be really open-minded about what's showing up and why, all right? There is some sweetness around that communication, and with it, here we have the card of the Lovers right at the center of your reading. So it does denote that energy of Gemini. It's looking at where you want to come together, where you want to bond, where you want to bring unity, and where you feel devoted, where you're really feeling aligned. I think that's going to be shown to you very strongly through this month, Taurus. I think you're going to get this powerful realization with all of these planets retrograde of what is working and what isn't, where all of those kind of gaping holes in the plan or in the relationship are just, you know, reaching a point of saying, okay, this is not where I need to be, or actually, okay, this is exactly where I need to be, and this is how we need to start to move forward to fix it. Yeah. So the card of the Lover's also bringing in choice. There's a beautiful air of romance around this, which I really like, but bear in mind that energy is so changeable and so mutable that you need to take some time to kind of almost just sit back and absorb and really take something in before you jump forward, right? That's going to be really important, because jumping too quickly could have you sort of I guess kind of feeling like it was not really there, it wasn't really real, it felt kind of like that castle in the air. So it's sort of that sensation of I need a little bit more validation, really, that something is going to be good for you. I certainly think you can trust your instincts, because they're going to be sharp this month. And really, this is a time when we are about returning to the self. So we have 9 of Wands coming through, and you may well be feeling, like I said, a bit mistrustful or uncertain about a particular situation, okay? You may even find that, you know, you're in a situation where someone else is involved here, and, you know, either you're feeling like that influence of an outside party, or you're looking towards someone else and what's happening in terms of their relationship, their idea, their business. And I don't know, there's almost a little bit of like, okay, how do I invite that into my world? How can I emulate that? Or what is it that I need to do to be able to meet that kind of an energy and have that as part of my own physical experience? So I think there's a lot to learn from almost like looking around you, drawing inspiration, and taking that from a positive, not from a place of sort of envy, or from a place of like, when is it my turn, or when does it happen for me? This is about, like we said, you being open-minded, because the way that you move forward, what's right for you, how things are going to show up in your unique path, is going to be very different, and it's going to come together when you really align with something that is making sense to you, not when you try to sort of emulate someone else. I think that feels important as a message for you this month, Taurus. Not to say you can't take inspiration, but really it's from that inner guidance that you're going to really start to be able to piece the jigsaw together, all right? So very spiritual energy that's coming through here. And, you know, when we move toward the end of the month, we've got Mars, which is in Pisces right now, moving into the sign of Aries on the 28th. Aries energy is about 12th house. It's your spiritual house. So this is about the way that you move forward. So having to align with your values, and, you know, where you feel the energy is working for you, perhaps changes in and around your spiritual practice, thinking about, you know, maybe new career options or things that are coming up in that particular field could be very important for you as well toward the end of the month. But certainly I see with all of this energy, it's very intuitive, it's very emotional, it's very embracing of the heart space and what it is that you need to allow for something to go to the next level, right? I see a really beautiful kind of understanding coming in with somebody, Taurus, right? So wherever that needs to show up, whether it's professionally or in your relationship, I think there's some sense of understanding that comes in at some point in the month, and that's going to be really helpful in giving you that discernment and that understanding of where you both are on a particular situation, or where you both are on a something that matters in your life, so that you can find a way forward, you can find that unity, you can find that synergy. Yeah, you're also showing up to me as being quite magnetic, actually. I've got this magnetism where I feel people are going to be really drawn towards you this month. Either because of the space that you're holding, like you're just prepared to hear them out, or you've got that lovely sort of embracing, open, nurturing vibe going on. And I think it's because you're not being judgmental. I just think you've got something really of value to share with someone, or perhaps more than one person this month, Taurus, and it's going to help set you free from something as well, okay? There's forgiveness and there's some tolerance that's going on in this reading. Now, maybe that needs to be towards the self. Maybe that's showing up in terms of a particular relationship that's going to come forward for you. But we have an absolute rebirth and a transformational energy that's showing up here. And I think that once information has come to light, you can take that and absolutely be invited to know that you can feel like that. What they're giving me is that it's like once you get validation on something, okay, so there's news or information that's going to validate something for you really importantly through this month, okay, and then it gives you this beautiful kind of moment of realization that actually one, you may have been right with regards to a certain situation or the way somebody was feeling or how something was unfolding. But also secondly, that validation or that information has set you free in some way. So if you're trying to move on from someone, or, you know, if you want to actually come back together with something, then it's like the key that sort of unlocks this understanding. Like I said, this understanding that's coming forth. And that is going to make all the difference, right? That's where we can start to plan and move forward. So you can see like up and over into the kind of next chapter, the new path that's forming. But it's everything. It just feels really important. There's something about information being really validating, and it's going to help set you free with a particular subject or a particular kind of challenge or resistant energy that perhaps you've been going over and over and over again in your mind and just not finding a way to kind of figure it out. Because here we have 8 of Swords, so there has been some stress connected to this situation, or something that's going on for you right now where you're feeling a little bit trapped. You're unsure as to how to respond, how to make it work, how to take this and allow yourself the opportunity to move in the direction that you want to. But remember that 8 of Swords is self-imposed, and sometimes we do that to give ourselves time to actually process something that we need to. So it's almost like our ego self will kind of come in and try to give us all of the reasons why something won't work, or, you know, make us start to feel overly anxious or overly stressed about a situation, because we need to kind of step back and allow some kind of energy to calibrate or process, or, you know, we need to figure out a way out of this, you know. But you certainly have the perseverance coming in with that 9 of Wands. Perhaps there's some adjustments in the planning that needs to take place, but I see you, like I said, open-minded and being able to do that, okay? So any of that stress feels like it is something that you can navigate, and it's also going to show you something really important about the way that you are believing in yourself, the way that you are holding the things that you want apart from your experience, because perhaps there's an old narrative or an old story that's been showing up. So your oracle card is motion, which is lovely because this is what I see. It's forward motion. This is about things starting to get going again. This is where you're feeling things are opening up more for you. And perhaps there is something that you need to let go of in order for that to happen. Yeah. She does have her eyes closed in this particular depiction. So again, there's something about what you're going to review on the internal emotional landscape is going to help you break free from something and move and shift the energy that's around you at the moment as well, okay? And that's why retrogrades are so incredibly important for helping us to kind of return home to ourselves, to support that kind of unfolding. So you have luck is on your side, new moon in Sagittarius. So we have the Sagittarius eclipse taking place this month. So interesting kind of synergy with that. There may well be something that's taking place that again is allowing that beautiful metamorphosis to take place as it happens in your 8th house. But also it's giving you some luck in an idea, an initiative with regards to a situation where you need to see a breakthrough, right? It's coming. Remember, eclipses can bring in profound shift and change in our life. Sometimes at the time that it happens, it doesn't feel particularly lucky. It doesn't feel like something that we would have asked for or invited in. But actually down the line in hindsight, we can look back and see that was the beginning of everything. That was where everything changed, because what it did was it forced me to deal with something I wasn't really ready to or I didn't want to confront. And then I was able to evolve. I was able to move past that. So I really like that that's coming in, but it also wants to draw me towards that timing of 2020. So what is beginning, what we're looking at, what we're absorbing in this month of June, Taurus, is also on a journey in and of itself to come into a point of beautiful new beginning and freshness and real kind of fate and synchronicity at that new moon in Sagittarius that we're going to experience later in the year. So pay attention to that and think about how that Sagittarius energy is showing up for you, particularly around the lunar eclipse, because that's going to be important, I feel, for you. So I hope this has given you a little bit of insight in terms of this month ahead. If you haven't already subscribed, please do join me and make sure you don't miss any further notifications. And I'm going to go ahead now, Taurus, and pull us some additional clarifying cards for the extended reading. So the extended reading, I'm going to talk for another 20 minutes or so, go into this information in a bit more detail, see what additional messages we can pull out. This is a general reading, so if you have a specific question, please think about it now, and I'll pull a couple of cards that we will focus on that specifically. Okay, I'll just go ahead and clarify this main spread now. So just beginning with the Queen of Cups here. Seven of Cups energy, again very linked into Neptune. We've got Neptune going retrograde in Pisces, can be a bit overwhelming, very emotional energy to work with, particularly if things are coming up we weren't expecting. Another Page of Cups coming up here. May well be things going on with younger people or children in your life. Thoughts and feelings about that area coming up very strongly. Yeah, there we have the Empress representing the mother energy. Four of Swords, needing time to withdraw just so you can review. Such important information can come from that about how you find this way forward, yeah. Something coming to a point of fruition here. Some nice energies coming up for you. And offers coming in as well. I mean, you know, there's a lot of love energy in this reading for you this month, Taurus. So falling back in love with what you do, or with someone or someone new coming in. It's all going to be important. Yeah, Two Cups. Okay, Tower energy. That'll be interesting. We'll take a look at that in the extended. Links into the sign of Scorpio. May be important. Four Cups. There's our Wheel of Fortune, bringing in a little bit of fate and that unexpected energy that we talked about with these eclipses. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, bringing in new pathways, new love, new opportunity, new passion, desire. It's nice. Okay, we've got Queen of Swords, Queen of Coins, and Seven of Wands. I wanted to come out there, so we'll take them. your card, Taurus, the Hierophant. Sticking to your guns with something I feel is needed. High Priestess bringing in the Ten of Swords and the Six of Swords. Interesting. Okay, Eight of Swords again. We've got the Scorpio energy. Also the card of Death bringing in change. Major change for you. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me, Taurus. If you want to join me for the extended, where we'll look at all of these messages a bit more, I will look forward to doing that. Otherwise, wishing you bright blessings for this month. Take good care, and I'll speak to you again real soon. Bye for now.